Hi, how you doing? I'm Phil Casista, town chair in Chester of the Dems, and we have our marvelous candidates. We do have one not present, and
Tony DePalma.
Tony DePalma.
He's a write-in candidate.
That. He's a write-in candidate. Tony DePalma, spell it any way you like. I hope they'll understand all the various ways DePalma can be. But we have
we're gonna be putting up,
and we'll have signs to make that easy for you. That's a great plan. Yeah. So, and we also have Charlotte Lister, who's running again for state rep, and that was a seat she held in the past and would love to do again. And Jackie Wood as well. How you doing? And Mr. D'Angelo.
Steve D'Angelo.
Steve D'Angelo, if you want the full name, is going to be, hopefully all these folks will be taking care of us in Concord the way we would like to do that, with care and concern for all of us, and share good values and hardworking people. Please vote for them.
So, introducing Charlotte.
Introducing Charlotte, for example.
I'm Charlotte Lister in Chester. I've been selectman for 6 years. I was on the legislature for 2 years. One of the things I learned at the legislature was that there's a lot more than just voting for the things, the hot button issues. There are lots and lots of things that come up most people have never heard of. To do the job properly, I've learned that it's necessary to get on committees, to study the legislation, because every piece of legislation is important to the person who put it in, and to decide the proposal, whether it should pass with changes, or be killed. One of the things I agree to do when I become legislator will be to do the work that is necessary to be a good legislator for the state.
So, Charlotte, you lived in Chester for how long?
I lived in Chester since 1986.
So you know that the issues facing our community and other communities, as well as Sandown and Auburn.
So I know them from having been selectman for 6 years.
So what are some of those issues?
Money.
I mean, we're paying all our money through property tax.
That's correct. But we will continue to do that.
We will.
Because we need to make sure that it's done wisely. We need to make sure that there is aid for education, aid also to repair the roads and the bridges to make sure that we can get out of town. These are both issues that the state legislature has worked on and would like to work on in the future.
So Jackie,
yes,
you're in Auburn.
I'm in Auburn and I'm the chair of the Democrats in Auburn. My husband actually grew up in Auburn. I met him at the University of New Hampshire, and we decided to live there. We were given a piece of land by his father, so that's where we stayed and raised our children. I have been extremely active volunteering. When my boys were younger, I was in PTA, den mother, even a baseball coach, Odyssey of the Mind, which is now Destination Imagination. Now I'm the secretary for the Dollars for Scholars program. This year we gave 13 scholarships. I'm involved in a volunteer program called Scarves in the Park, where we knit scarves for underprivileged families. We tie them on trees and they can come pick out their scarf. So volunteerism to me is very important, trying to get Auburn more active, helping others. I am a retired teacher. I taught in Hooksett for 20 years and taught kindergarten in Auburn for 2 years, and actually worked in the Auburn school system for 10 years as a para and also volunteer. As you can see, education is very important to me.
You've lived in Auburn for how long?
I have lived in Auburn, let's see, my son was 7, he's 45, so 38 years. 38 years.
So what have you noticed the most in terms of the changes?
Well, the changes is where we are considered a bedroom community, but we have an influx of people coming to Auburn. So our schools need changes. I've talked to a lot of, my husband's actually working on a committee with the school board. Our school needs repair. We need to think about perhaps a middle school. Education to me is extremely important. I think that's the basis of, underlying.
Years ago, the state was actually offering money to communities like Auburn and Chester to help them with building schools
Yeah.
and making renovations and so forth. That program is no longer in existence. So I think that would be something that might be a priority for people, especially in towns like Auburn and Chester and Sandown, that we're seeing such a growth spurt of people coming in.
Yeah, and I think that Pinkerton Academy is a big draw as well. My husband worked there for 37 years as location director. And that's a big draw for people coming into the community. So as we become, every piece of land seems to be, people are building houses on every piece of land available. So conservation is also going to be an issue.
Well, I look at the school system and I've changed my views on how we do things with our school. I think it's very important. It's a very large budget in our town. And I look at what's happening in terms of the growth of Chester and what potential growth is there. We know that there's well over 400 houses potentially that could be built at any given time, given the number of things that are in the planning board at this stage. That would have a major impact on our town and could require us to maybe hire additional police and fire folks. It could also have an impact on the having to need for a larger school. So these are important issues that need to be addressed at the state level and not always putting the pressure on towns like Chester. We don't have a big tax base like Derry and some of the other surrounding communities that can share that expense of having to build these things. So.
And definitely road repair with our winters.
Yes.
It took me, I went to Portsmouth yesterday and it took me 15 minutes to figure out all the detours of where there wasn't construction on the road so that I could actually pass. I had to turn around about 3 times. So that's a good thing that roads are being repaired, but that's quite an expense.
Well, I think it's part of the infrastructure. Roads and bridges, we know that we're having a lot of problems with those.
Yeah.
And certainly in a town like this, we're over here on beautiful Harantis Lake road area. In that road out there, could probably stop tanks if they were invading because it's so bad. Nevertheless, there's not enough money out there that's available to fix those roads. Of course, in a town like Chester, we just passed a capital improvement program, which hopefully in the years to come will help solve some of that. But that's not enough. We need state initiatives to be involved with infrastructure, whether it be roads, bridges, or schools, which I think is as much of the infrastructure as roads and bridges. So. Now, my name is Steve D'Angelo. I've been on the town budget committee for 8 years, since 2008. And I've learned from working on that committee the intricacies of how the town finances itself and how we support the school and how the budgets are created for the school as well as for the town. And, one of the great things that was achieved this past year was the capital improvement program, which was something that will help us fund things, but we need more money from the state. We need to get them more involved and stop passing the buck to local towns and watching our property taxes continue to rise. We don't have a lot of businesses where we're going to be able to generate the kind of funds that are necessary to support all the people that could potentially come into a town like ours. We have a new school. Phil, you just were part of that as well. Over here we have folks coming in from...
Big changes, yeah.
Big change is going to take place. I don't know how many kids are going to be coming in, but that's going to put some kind of important impact on the town of Chester as well. Yeah. So, but these are bedroom communities. Auburn, Chester, Sandown, these are all bedroom communities, and they need support from the state, and we need to get legislators in there that are going to help towns like ours get that support, so that we're not continually, financing this all by ourselves. So I'm hoping that if we get ourselves elected, we can maybe have an impact on that.
So please come out and vote for us.
Yes, we're all guaranteed a
We
spot.
are. We're already winners.
But we want people to show up that are Democrats to speak, because we have a couple. Tony DePalma is a write-in candidate. We need to have an impact on our town elections in these towns and get people out there that are progressive. We're fiscally conservative folks, but we have to have people out there with progressive ideas on how we're going to solve problems, and not just worry about, basically constitutional issues that we don't really have an impact on. We're not interested in, those kind of issues. We're interested in local issues that are going to help people solve problems for them.
So come on out and vote, and we appreciate.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
Yep,
Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
And we'll see you in November.
Yes, definitely November.
Definitely November.